These photographs were taken on April 15, 2009, in Ontario, Canada, at 2:39 p.m. To be specific, a woman named Jean Habert was opening her blinds when she spotted a massive creature, approximately half a football field away. She quickly grabbed her husband and a camera to capture images of the mysterious entity. The couple stated that the creature noticed them, but did not react, allowing Mr. Habert to take 2 photographs of it. The Sasquatch then seemingly vanished, only to reappear 15 minutes later, leading to the last photo being taken before it disappeared again, never to be seen again. They estimated the creature's height to be around 10 feet, though this may be an overestimation. The couple never encountered the creature again, but in the following weeks, they reported that the screens on their windows had been torn off, with no known culprit. They eventually sold their cabin in 2010 because they no longer felt safe living there after their experience. Regarding my thoughts on the photos, they are among the more intriguing and lesser discussed Bigfoot images available. They are significantly clearer than many Sasquatch photos, which, to be honest, isn't saying much. The figure definitely appears large and exhibits some classic Bigfoot characteristics, such as a lack of a neck and a substantial amount of hair covering its body. The visible features of its face do seem to resemble those of a primate, though I wouldn't jump to any conclusions based on that alone. Several people who know the Haberts have come forward over the years to vouch for their integrity, expressing skepticism that the couple would fabricate such an encounter. What do you think? Could these photos be genuine? Let me know in the comments below. This is the latest evidence of Bigfoot, recently shared on January 22nd, 2025. Remarkably, it's also highly exclusive, with only a few thousand viewers having seen it so far. Check out the footage captured by a man in Alaska.
Does anybody know what this is? I'm from Alaska. I've never seen anything like this before. So I'm just walking out to let my chickens out and stuff. And then I see these big prints. I know they're not Sasquatch or anything, but check this out, guys. This is me walking. Takes 4 steps. 4 steps to make one of those. Pretty interesting, I don't know.
Where he reveals some unusual tracks in the snow behind his home. Notice the impressive length of some of the strides. Whatever this creature was, it either sprinted or possesses the ability to take such long steps while walking, with distances between strides estimated to be between 7 to 8 feet at times. This suggests that the creature might be bipedal. Examining the prints more closely, they resemble human footprints, but are elongated, and some show unusual toe shapes. When compared to the man's own boot prints, it's evident that these tracks are significantly larger. Alaska, known for its expansive wilderness and remote landscapes, has long been a hub for tales of mysterious creatures, including Bigfoot. The state's rugged terrain, dense forests, and low population density create the perfect backdrop for cryptid folklore. Indigenous groups in Alaska, such as the Tlingit and Athabaskan peoples, have shared stories of large, hairy, humanoid beings throughout their traditions. These creatures are sometimes called kushtaka, described as wild men or forest spirits, and are often feared for their ability to lure people into the wilderness. Another entity, the Yuri-Yuli, is said to be a giant hairy creature inhabiting the forests of southwestern Alaska. According to legend, these beings were once children who became lost in the woods and transformed into these creatures. These stories predate contemporary Bigfoot sightings and indicate a rich cultural history connected to such beings. With that in mind, could this man's footage provide evidence of one of these mysterious creatures? Or is there a more plausible explanation? The following close-up footage of Bigfoot originates from Virginia. A man is exploring a remote wilderness area when he believes he spots a bear. Excited to capture a video, he takes out his phone and starts recording, only to realize that what he's observing isn't a bear at all.
Hey, bear.
As he zooms in closer, an unfamiliar creature comes into view, attempting to conceal itself behind a tree. The upper part of its body is visible, revealing a hairy humanoid form with a face resembling a blend of a human and a monkey. Its face is devoid of hair and appears to be a lighter grayish hue, featuring a prominent forehead. In one particular shot, its eyes can be seen peering through the foliage. The creature is distinctly defined, with even the wrinkles on its forehead clearly visible, which adds to the intrigue of the footage. This sighting is particularly compelling because Virginia is known as a Bigfoot hotspot, with numerous notable sightings reported in the area. For instance, there was the Blue Ridge Parkway sighting in western Virginia in 1990, the Peaks of Otter sighting near Bedford in 2000s, and the Wise County sighting in 2014. In the Blue Ridge Parkway incident, A group of hunters claimed to have seen a large, hairy creature walking upright in Shenandoah National Park, describing it as over 7 feet tall with broad shoulders and long arms. The creature allegedly emitted a guttural yell before vanishing into the woods. During the peaks of otter sighting, a family camping nearby reported observing a large bipedal creature watching them from the tree line. The creature purportedly followed them at a distance as they returned to their campsite, leaving behind footprints about 15 inches long, which they documented with photographs. Lastly, in the Wise County Bigfoot incident, residents of a rural area reported hearing loud, unidentifiable screams late at night. A farmer claimed to have seen a massive figure moving across his property, describing it as covered in dark fur and approximately 8 feet tall. Large footprints were also found near a creek bed. Given all this information, do you think the footage is genuine? Share your thoughts in the comments below. This was shared by Not the 10 on Reddit, and it seems very credible to me. Just take a look at the toes and the left footprint. Everyone in the Reddit comments is raving about this picture. Alright, I'm getting ahead of myself. Here's the story. I had an encounter with a Bigfoot or Yeti while I was attending Grand Valley State University. The campus was surrounded by dense woods that extended for miles into neighboring counties. My friends and I would hike through these woods every day. One day in mid-February, we were trekking through deep ravines and valleys in the woods. It was freezing cold since it was February in Michigan. While hiking, I suddenly stopped in my tracks because I spotted enormous bare footprints deeply imprinted in the snow and ice. It was clear that whatever made them walked on 2 feet, as there were no paw prints in front of the footprints. At this point, we were quite far from campus in another county, so I doubt it was another student playing a prank. Who would go barefoot in the snow in February deep in the woods? We followed the footprints as far as we could, but eventually lost them. This incident frightened my friends and me, especially since we had previously felt like something was watching us in those woods. One of my friends even spotted something swinging from treetop to treetop. Having grown up in Michigan, I know there are no monkeys around, but this footprint incident made our fears more tangible and convinced us that a Yeti or Bigfoot was lurking in those woods. Afterward, I researched sightings online, and I was astonished to find multiple reports in the county where we were. As I mentioned, this sparked a lot of excitement in the comments, but we also need to address the skeptics. The most common argument is that these are bear footprints, suggesting a double step, where a bear stepped into its own print. However, if it's a bear, where are the claw marks? Some claim the footprints are too small to belong to a Bigfoot, but keep in mind that there are teenagers and small females. Plus, I can't get over the distinct impressions of the toes. I mean, come on. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please share your opinions in the... Let's take a look at a brand new Bigfoot sighting that was uploaded on January 12th, 2025. The video, which lists Michigan as its location, likely originates from there. It begins with a hiker trekking through a snowy forest, but quickly shifts from picturesque to quite unsettling.
There's something large. Oh, took off.
Suddenly, deep growls resonate through the trees, indicating the presence of a large predator. The hiker catches fleeting glimpses of the creature responsible, although it remains largely unseen in the footage. He expresses his shock, saying things like, "It just took off running," and "What the heck is that thing?" His description of it as a thing suggests it's not any ordinary animal. As the video progresses, the growls become more pronounced and seem to draw nearer. These sounds are unlike anything we've encountered before, leading many viewers to speculate that this could indeed be a Bigfoot sighting. Given the eerie noises in his descriptions, this theory has gained considerable traction, with many believing he experienced a very close encounter with a Bigfoot that day, a close call he's fortunate to have survived. A Sasquatch was filmed crossing a gravel road in Oregon before vanishing into the woods. Veteran researcher and Bigfoot witness Todd Nice shared an image on Facebook that he received from a source who mentioned the unexpected ways information about Bigfoot can surface. During a conversation with a DMV clerk, she revealed that a friend of hers had captured a photo of Bigfoot near Seaside, Oregon, on September 8th, 2014. She later emailed Todd the picture, and although the image lacks clarity, he believes it to be authentic. The creature reportedly crossed the road from right to left, and they managed to take only one photo before it retreated into the forest. Interestingly, this location is just 5 miles away from where Todd himself had a sighting in 1993. In Todd's opinion, there are several aspects of this photo that stand out. The side profile of the creature aligns with his expectations, particularly its forward lean. He also appreciates that the photo was taken at just the right moment to capture Bigfoot, with its rear leg bent back at approximately 75 degrees, a position that humans do not naturally adopt while running or walking. Thinker Thunker has educated the Bigfoot community about the 73-degree shinrise gait of Bigfoot, as seen in the Patterson video, compared to an average human shinrise of only 52%. Todd also finds it noteworthy that the photo was not widely publicized by the individual who took it, indicating that they did not seek fame or financial gain from the encounter. This woman engaged in a casual conversation with a Bigfoot enthusiast, and then offered the photo in the accompanying story. Another appealing element of this image is how seamlessly the creature blends into its surrounding, which explains why they are seldom spotted and quickly vanish when they are, as in this case, to evade a potential human threat. Examining additional photographic evidence of the notorious Bigfoot, highlighted on October 2nd, 2024, we find another image from Rocky Mountain Sasquatch. The sender of the photo, Ron States, shared, "A friend sent this to me from the Hoh River in the Washington Peninsula. I've had several encounters myself, including a sighting of one crossing the road in Ashford, Washington. The photo was initially captured over a year before its release." States mentions that his friend was fishing when he spotted the creature across the river. He claims to have seen this same creature before and has heard it howling and communicating with others of its kind. When it communicated, it spoke in a deep guttural voice that resembled gibberish and couldn't be mimicked by humans. Upon analyzing the image, it appears to depict a bipedal hairy creature with long dark hair on its head. Although slightly out of focus, its face is noticeably hairless and lighter in color, which aligns with patterns seen in other Bigfoot images and videos. Its hunched posture, as it walks, also suggests a primate-like gait. This certainly adds to the collection of convincing Bigfoot photographs. Starting the video with an exciting new Bigfoot sighting. This footage is not only fresh, but also quite exclusive, having been seen by only around 100,000 viewers. The incident took place on January 14th, 2025, when a girl with the username Sunshineable was filming herself in the woods, a common activity for her. However, this time, an unusual creature was lurking in the background. Emerging from behind the trees was a Bigfoot-like figure that leaned over to observe the woman. Realizing it had been spotted, the creature quickly retreated back into the forest. This prompted the woman to hurriedly grab her phone and escape the area. The creature in question is described as being covered in dark black fur and doesn't appear to be particularly tall. Some viewers speculate that this might be a juvenile Sasquatch, while others doubt its authenticity, suggesting it could be a person in a costume playing a prank. Despite the skepticism, the girl insists that her encounter was genuine and even captions her video with a TikTok reference, noting that it had to conclude this way for her, given the platform's impending ban on January 19th. Additionally, it's pointed out that this type of post is quite atypical for Sunshineable, as she has never attempted to stage or fabricate anything like this before, leading many to believe the video is legitimate. However, I can't help but think it resembles a costume. What do you all think? Costume or real Bigfoot? Let me know. The video features two Bigfoot researchers who recently discovered a large footprint while searching for evidence. They came across several sizable footprints in the dirt during their outing in mid-September 2024. After making this intriguing find, they utilized their equipment to create a cast of the prints. And here's what they recorded.
It already looks good before you clean it off.
Yeah, I mean, this is a much better print, but it is definitely something going on here. Obviously, this could be a female. It's obviously young. It is not mature. But I mean, this could be a female as far as we know. Whatever it is, it's not full grown. So
You can see that both researchers are thrilled with their discovery, and the cast of the footprint turned out remarkably well. One of the researchers suggests that this might belong to a young female Sasquatch that hasn't fully matured yet. The most notable aspect of the footprint is its enormous big toe, which stands out prominently. It appears much too large to be a human footprint, raising the question of how massive a fully grown Bigfoot's print could be. The other researcher notes that Sasquatch feet are structurally different from human feet in terms of joints and anatomy, making this print distinct.
I'm beginning to wonder if there's something there that we don't understand as far as, joints or appendage, or I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I think they're built a little different than us as far as joints and anatomy goes.
can of compressed air would have been nice too.
Oh yeah,
But that is a fantastic footprint.
it is.
Great.
Great find by Taylor.
Yep.
Golly, that's a great find.
That is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can do that right there. Let everybody see.
I mean, even for juvenile female standards for Bigfoot, that's still a big foot compared to humans.
Yep.
Such discoveries have been occurring for quite some time. Here are a few of the most notable ones. Jerry Crew casts, 1958. Location, Bluff Creek, California. Construction worker Jerry Crew found large human-like footprints near his job site in the secluded woods of Northern California. He created plaster casts of the prints, which measured around 16 inches in length. Bosberg footprint, 1969. Location, Bosberg, Washington. A set of 1.89 footprints was discovered, including a uniquely deformed foot that exhibited abnormalities. The prints were highly detailed, featuring dermal ridges and signs of wear. Researchers like Grover Krantz and Dr. Jeff Meldrum studied these tracks, arguing that their intricate detail and anatomical precision made them difficult to fake. London Tracks, 1982. Location, London, Oregon. A series of footprints were found by forestry workers and later examined by Bigfoot researcher Peter Byrne. The prints were large and displayed weight distribution, consistent with a heavy bipedal creature. And this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Bigfoot footprint evidence. If you're interested in learning more about other infamous Bigfoot footprint discoveries, feel free to let me know.
From the archives. Bigfoot research begins here. Dramatized archival retelling. Original headline, Bigfoot research begins here. By Danny Lawler, publisher. Location, Vivian, Louisiana, Gray, Texas, Caddo Lake. Research group, Texas Bigfoot Research Association. Important encounter referenced 1994. Original publication date, not available in the provided clipping text. Footprints, twisted tree limbs, and reports of something large moving through the forest surrounding Caddo Lake. Those were some of the clues that once brought a group of Bigfoot researchers to the Texas-Louisiana border. The story appeared under the headline Bigfoot Research Begins Here, written by publisher Danny Lawler. And behind the investigation was a researcher who claimed he had already encountered the creature himself. His name was Craig Woolheater. At the time, Woolheater was assistant director of the Texas Bigfoot Research Association. According to the original article, the organization had recently held a conference in Jefferson, Texas, attended by around 150 people. One subject kept coming up: possible Bigfoot activity near Vivian, Louisiana, and the Caddo Lake region. There were reports of strangely twisted branches. At least one suspected footprint had reportedly been discovered. And researchers believed there was enough unusual activity to justify an investigation. They even considered the possibility that more than one creature could be living there. But for Woolheater, this wasn't simply about other people's stories. He claimed he had seen one himself. The 1994 encounter. In 1994, Woolheater and his wife were driving from New Orleans back to Dallas. During the trip, Woolheater said they suddenly saw a large creature cross the roadway directly in front of them. He wanted to turn the car around. His wife didn't. According to the article, she was too frightened to go back and investigate. That brief encounter would help fuel Woolheater's fascination with reports of Bigfoot throughout the American South. Based on the reports he had studied, Woolheater believed the creatures might live or travel in small family groups, possibly 3 animals together. They were described as approximately 7 to 8 feet tall, extremely hairy, and primarily active at night. They probably stay within about a 40 or 50-mile radius, Woolheater told the newspaper. He also pointed to reported sightings along the Sulphur River corridor, extending from the area around Fouke, Arkansas, into Texas. Then there were the tracks. Woolheater said suspected Bigfoot footprints were generally around 15 to 17 inches long. Witnesses frequently described the creatures as heavily covered in hair and sometimes walking with a slumped-over posture. But there was a problem. Despite all the stories and alleged evidence, Woolheater admitted that his organization didn't have a convincing photograph of the creature. There are people that claim to have them, but most are hoax, he told the newspaper. Woolheater believed the creatures were extraordinarily elusive and capable of blending into their surroundings. And that made the next part of the story particularly interesting. The researchers were going looking for one. The Caddo Lake investigation. The team planned to meet in Jefferson, Texas, before traveling toward Gray, Texas, near Caddo Lake. There they would meet Pat Tanner, whose mother reportedly owned property where unusual activity had been occurring. The exact research location wasn't made public, and that was intentional. "We don't want people showing up at the research locations," Woolheater said. "We are pretty serious about it." Once inside the research area, the investigators planned to strategically position infrared cameras throughout the woods. These cameras could automatically activate when something moved in front of them. Tape recorders would also be left running throughout the night. The idea was to capture sounds coming from the forest while researchers listened in the darkness. They would also search for one of the stranger signs Woolheater associated with possible Bigfoot activity: twisted tree limbs. According to the article, some branches appeared to have been forcefully twisted across the grain. Whether those formations were natural or something else was exactly the kind of question the investigators hoped to answer. The researchers were prepared to remain awake throughout the night, watching and listening for anything unusual moving through the woods surrounding Caddo Lake. Their goal, Woolheater emphasized, wasn't to kill anything. It was to document it. "I don't think they are dangerous, but they probably could be," he said. He explained that although the group sometimes carried firearms for protection against other dangers in the wilderness, members weren't permitted to shoot a Bigfoot simply to obtain a specimen. The researchers wanted evidence: a track, a recording, a photograph, anything that might explain the stories coming from these woods. And somewhere beyond their cameras and recorders lay thousands of acres of dark forest, swamp, and water. If the reports were true, whatever they were searching for had plenty of places to disappear. The publisher's final word. Danny Lawler ended his original article on a lighter note. Whether you believed in Bigfoot or not, he observed, there certainly seemed to be plenty of people who did. Lawler couldn't accompany the researchers into the woods that weekend, but he gave them his telephone numbers anyway. If they found Bigfoot, he wanted them to call. They promised they would. That left the publisher with one final problem. If the telephone actually rang, how was he going to convince his wife to come along and take the picture?